Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Reacting Chill. I'm Dika. So last time on Bleach, Ichigo had finally overcome Hollow Ichigo, therefore being the dominant Ichigo, and basically defeating him. I think this also means the Zangetsu that he recognizes is going to also come back, and he was able to curb the Hollow. But he did leave him with a warning saying, next time I'm not gonna hold back and basically getting rid of you. So he carried on training, and they were trying to keep him in his holified form for long periods of time. But then we had that massive information that Captain Yamamoto had given us regarding what Aizen's actual plan was. So basically they were able to find out the last things and records he was looking at, and therefore they found out he was looking for the Oken. So in doing so, I made some suggestions last time, the last reaction, about how he wanted to be like the king of the Soul Society or something like that. It's got something potentially to do with that. However, what they found out is that he wasn't necessarily looking for its location, but he was looking at how to create or replicate an Oken using the formula to create one. And unfortunately, part of that formula also meant the total annihilation of Karakura Town, which is where our friends live. We had the outcome, or the final outcome, of the fight between Ryuken and his son Uryu, and right at the end, I even said it last time, he had a certain set. He had to get his son to a certain state for him to perform the thing where he needed to do to get him to get his powers back. And I was even saying that even though he was acting the way he was chastising him after he knocked his son out. He was chastising him because he felt like, you know, you could have finished me off basically with a different move. And you know, I really like that even though he brings up a cold front, he still cares a lot for his son. So yes, here we are, and I'm really excited to see now what happens. Obviously everyone's training. Oh, I forgot to mention that when Orihime came to find Ichigo to pass on the message, the Vizards acknowledged Orihime's powers, because first and foremost, for her to actually find their location, for her to be able to get in, I know she used the power of Shunshin Rika, but for her to get in, they've really acknowledged, and they're not the first group of people who acknowledged Orihime's powers. And I've even said that her powers are growing. She's definitely going to be a formidable ally in this oncoming fight. But yeah, now I'm excited to see now what happens next. Here we are with 127 and 128. When she turn up. Of course. He blocked it this time.
And I never fall for the same attack. Yeah, I tell you, I've been surrounded by these two filthy men for so long now that it just brightens everything right up to have a woman in the workplace again.
Wait, we're not done yet.
Chad going up against the Bankai Renji is still pretty good.
Mr. Urahara, what was it that you wanted to talk to me about?
It's going to be all-out war. More blood will be spilled than ever before. When war breaks out, I want you to stay out of the battle. Tsubaki is your only means of attack, so without him, I'm afraid I can't allow you to participate in combat. It's only reasonable.
I agree.
She has defensive and healing powers, which are more important than attacking abilities.
The defensive power of Santen Keshin is quite limited.
And although Orihime has some powers, you have to remember she's still just a human being.
Oh.
Also, I gotta say,
I agree with everything they're saying. I know I said that she's gaining powers, that she's coming into her own, considering that she is just a human. However, compared to what they are going to fight, and yes, Tsubaki, she did lose Tsubaki. She's not been able to bring him back, and that was her only attack in her formation. It makes sense for her to stand down, and I know she's probably feeling a bit guilty because the last couple of episodes and last few episodes, it's all about how she wanted to get stronger to help Ichigo, because clearly she's talked about her feelings before Ichigo and how she could be more of use to Ichigo, but it's facts, and I could see why Chad feels like, no, she wants to fight too, but come on, she's not in a position. She's more likely to get herself killed. And yes, Squad 4 is probably more trained for combat. Don't get attacked. Oh, Rukia.
Orihime, what's wrong? Kisuke, I can't believe he said that to you. He won't get away with it.
No, it's okay.
Aren't you furious at him for casting you aside so easily like that?
Mm.
No, I'm not mad at...
Stop lying to me like that.
But if I'm only going to be a burden to Mr. Urahara and everyone else, then maybe it's better to just be lonely instead.
During our fight in the Soul Society, there wasn't a single person that became a burden to any of us. And not you either, Orihime.
But the stakes have changed.
Thanks, Rukia.
I've got some reservations about this, but...
You're coming with me.
Oh.
Hachi wants to talk to you right now.
Oh, yes, because... I don't like all this mollycoddling. It's a bit annoying.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. What do you want with
So, what was it that you wanted to see me about? Huh? Ow, wait a minute. What are you doing? Please stop it.
These hairpins are the real form of your power. They're like a Zanpakuto. But this one is chipped.
He might help her heal him.
Like me to
Yes! Hachi can.
Can you really do that?
Why, of course.
Oh, Getty!
From just looking at your spiritual pressure, you should have powers very similar to mine.
Oh, nice.
However, I have to agree with the others. I cannot recommend that you be allowed to fight alongside them, especially when your opponents are Arankars. In spite of all that I told you, are you sure you still wish to fight?
Yes. Yes, I still want to fight.
You have not yet mastered your own abilities, Orihime. But surely there is a means for you to fight.
Oh, she found her.
Rukia!
I don't need to know.
Huh?
I came here, and I felt a little bit of Ichigo's spiritual pressure. If he didn't say anything, then he probably knows what he's doing.
He got his arm fixed.
You've healed. It's a good thing that I decided to bring your severed arm back here. You would have been kicked out of the Espada, too.
Oof.
I guess you're right.
I
Oh,
have completed the treatment.
so he's an Espada.
Is the movement and the responsiveness the same as before it was severed?
Oh my god. Oh.
Nevertheless, I know it'll get better sooner or later.
And now...
You have an interesting ability. Young lady,
are these the other
it
Espadas?
won't be long now. A dormant state with its seal removed is joined with someone who possesses twice the spirit energy of a captain. Its full power is suddenly released as if the Hogyoku were completely awakened once again.
We've got a new guy. Wonderwise.
It is time to carry it out. I will even give you a choice. And take whomever you like with you.
I get it! You thought Soul Reapers had extra lives or something! That they have the ability to keep coming back to life over and over again! Well, they don't, dumbass!
How's Ichigo's training going, Hiyori?
Ichigo's
Weren't you
lost.
watching? It's not going anywhere.
I'm already involved, moron. I lent you my dirty magazine to get your mind off training the other day.
You didn't lend me anything!
Personally, I like to look at them twice a day to clear my mind.
Yeah, I know! Good for you! But I'm not like either of you. Those pictures are distracting!
A little over 10 seconds. After 1 month. I guess it's just going to take more time.
Wow, they've been at it for a month.
I want you to authorize the opening of the training ground behind the barracks for my use.
What do you need it for?
Sir, a friend and I would like to use it to train in preparation for the
this is-
showdown this upcoming winter.
But I'm happy for her. She found a friend.
Oh, that's true.
Don't hesitate. If you're indecisive, you can't hope to win.
That's true, and that's what effed her over last time.
Santen, can you?
Damn it, break! Ah, break!
Shut up! What is wrong with you anyway, Yumichika? Dare you to say that one?
Will you two just shut the hell up and concentrate? Or I'll send you back to the Soul Society.
Is there something coming to the sky? There's a whole group of them. What's his plan that Aizen was talking about?
For us to sit around and figure out why. Oh, sorry. Of course, I mean the former six.
So he was kicked out.
The gun. He's worthless.
Oh shit! They scratched it off his back.
Hey, let's get going, rookie. Don't just stand there drooling like that.
He's the new guy.
I'm Squad 10 Captain Toshiro Hitsugaya.
That's quite a coincidence. I'm also a 10. Let go of me! No, you're not ready yet. This is exactly why your friends from the Soul Society are stationed here in the world of the living.
Is he gonna let him go?
Just let him go.
Okay. Because you've got Yami, you've got Grimjow. Aren't you guys gonna go?
Shinji!
Everyone.
Rukia, I'll go with you.
No.
No, Orihime. Don't make that face, Orihime. I'll be waiting for you on the other side.
Now I want to see if Ichigo's training has done something. Oh, Grim. Oh, shit.
It's taken me some time, but now I'm ready to show you what I've learned since the last time we met. On time.
Oof.
Maybe you've forgotten. Your Bankai couldn't stop me or do anything to even slow me down the first time we
But that's when he was out of sync.
What happened
Yeah.
to that arm of yours? Oh, I got rid of it. Because I'm only gonna need one arm.
It's like his face is like, bruh, do I look stupid to you? His face is like, do I look dumb? Is that, am I a joke to you? I know an arm that's been cut off when I see one.
Then in that case, I guess I don't need to hold back. If you do, then you'll just die faster.
Oh yes, he's gonna turn up Holofy.
Hollified for exactly 11 seconds. But it seems to me you're nearly exhausted as well, Renji.
Oh, Kisuke is gonna go. Just
Both
please
of
don't
you
get hurt.
stay here and rest.
Oh
I'll
god.
go.
Oh, it's finished. So that was episodes 127 and 138 because we missed out all the filler that was in between. Kicking off with 127, we saw that Yami was getting his arm stitched back up again. There was a couple of things that they mentioned which was interesting, and I didn't clock on. I like that they mentioned that their bodies can't heal because obviously when they were hollows they had the power to regenerate, so I'm assuming once they become Orankars they don't have that power. And just as we've seen in this previous episode, Ulquiorra said, you know, you're lucky I brought your arm along, you know, for it to be stitched back on. So they're literally like normal humans, I suppose, forsaking their hollow abilities for them to be Arankars, partially human, not human, sorry, partially Soul Reapers. As far as I know, Soul Reapers can't regenerate. They probably have given up that power. So yeah, Ulquiorra mentioned that I'm glad I brought it along. Otherwise, you would have been you would have been dropped from the Espadas. And we found out Yami was an Espada. He was number 10. So and that's probably why Tozin burnt up Grimjow's arm to teach him a lesson. Like, you know, you insubordination had caused this, now I'm going to take something away from you. So he cut his arm off and he burnt it, so then they can't regrow their arm. So technically that made him forcibly be expanded from the Espadas. Now, I mentioned it a couple of times. I could understand Orihime wanting to get stronger. But there was like I said, I recognize there's Orihime's strength, because one, the Visors were impressed. Two, Ulquiorra was impressed with her power. He thought it was interesting. He thought, and obviously Aizen is showing some sort of interest. And spoiler, I did see the opening. I don't know if because of this interest he gets with Orihime, which now I've just clocked on, which this interest he gets with Orihime, what if he kidnaps her? Because in this last episode they were like, you know, that plan I told you, why don't you go and do, you know, why don't you go and not fork out, but why don't you go and do what I told you to do? And you know, so I don't know what that may involve. Maybe he is going to kidnap Orihime, I'm not sure. Maybe he was going to use her, because they mentioned about the Arrancars not being able to regenerate. Maybe he's going to somehow use her abilities, because she has healing abilities. Now I'll come back to that, I'll circle around to this theory. Orihime is getting stronger and she has fantastic abilities. She's been acknowledged by, like I said, Hachi. He has similar abilities to her. However, what I didn't like is how and maybe I was just not feeling empathetic at this moment in time. Everyone, Renji and Urahara, were 100% correct that she shouldn't be on the battlefield. She is not going to be suited for that battle, and therefore they did not say she was weak. I don't remember her saying she was weak. She, out of everyone else, is probably not the best person to be put out there. And at the end of the day, why would they were not going to try and set her up to fail? And I 100% agree that fair enough, she was, you know, she did her thing, rescuing Rukia, Soul Society, X, Y, and Z. But I do realize that this Arrancar situation is out of her league, completely out of her league, and she is not best suited her style of combat. Now, with obviously Tsubaki being destroyed by Yami and Hachi being able to bring him back, at least it gives her that was her only fighting offensive ability. It gives that back. Now, whether her training with Rukia would help her build her strength in other areas, everything that he was saying, Urahara was facts, Renji was facts. I don't like the idea where Chad was like, you know, how can you say? I'm like, that's not what he was saying. He wasn't. If Chad was trying to speak like that to Rukia, to Ururu, no, I keep calling him Ururu, sorry, it's Uryu, to even Ichigo, I could understand that would feel a little bit patronizing because of their powers and because of what they can physically bring and how frustrating it is for them. But for someone like Orihime, I'm sorry, Orihime, I really, like I said, and even how Rukia was treating her, I was like, don't mollycoddle her. I hope maybe Orihime was understanding a little bit that, yes, I get it. She's annoyed because she knows it's true, and I hope that was the case, because I like Orihime, and I like that different beings are acknowledging her power and her strength, and the fact that she's just human and she possesses this. However, it is not the same. So it was like, don't lie to me to send me to my death, sort of thing. You can't say, oh yeah, you know, you could help us. At that time with Rukia, they needed everyone because they didn't have a lot of people. But with the Arrancars and with all these people with huge spiritual pressures, and even Ichigo struggling against them, Chad doesn't even stand a chance. What can Orihime do? So I really think that Orihime could, maybe her strengths lie in other places, they're just not better in combat. I wouldn't put her up against Yami. What are her, you know, what can they do? But with that, even Hachi even said to her, look, you've got my abilities, are you still sure, you know, Arrancars are different, are you still sure you want to fight them? And it was the fact that she still wanted to fight, to do what she can do to fight. So her resolve, it makes sense, but again, don't lie to me to send me to my death. At the end of the day, I know I could try and be of use, but then I want to be of use in ways which I can. Oh, so that thinking is just ridiculous. I wouldn't tell somebody who was who I know could potentially get hurt, because getting in the, like they said, getting in the way. What am I trying to look after you to make sure you're not made a target, or am I meant to fight? So no, not hard feelings, but no, not to be rude to Orihime. I just think the way they were basically gassing her up, like, shut the hell up, she's gonna die, she'll probably be the first to go. But coming back to how her powers were intriguing. And I was saying that, like I said, spoilers, in the opening, it looks like she gets kidnapped or she somehow ends up in Huecomundo or Aizen, and everyone, they seem to be intrigued. What if this plan that Aizen sends Ulquiorra on is to take her, is to grab her? Because the Arancars don't have healing abilities. They don't have the ability to regenerate. But when Chad got mashed up by Yami, she was using her powers to heal him. So what if, because I don't know, he's a mad scientist, he's going to somehow try and get, like, either when they get back to, I don't know, Huecomundo, they could be the resident nurse, because Yami killed the other resident nurse person, that woman who was there, he, you know, smashed her head in. But with what happened with Chad, and like I said, his arm looked like it was completely ripped to smithereens, maybe they're going to use her like a medic. In other words, the Arancars, if they sustain a certain amount of damage, they can't regenerate. They've lost that ability to regenerate by the looks of it. So it's tit for tat. However, if they've got somebody like Orihime on their side, they will be able to use it as a resource. That, look, you're our medic now. We're gonna use you to heal them. So that I just realized, because Orihime, I'm not saying she doesn't feel like she's not needed, but it's funny because everyone on the human world, this side, is saying you're not suited for battle, but then Aizen's side, they're like, well, we need you because you got what you have, something that they clearly are not appreciative of enough, and we actually need, because none of our dudes could regenerate. So that would be quite interesting to see. And obviously it was confirmed that Grimjaw unfortunately is no longer part of the Espadas. We've got a new person, Lupin. It's not Lupin. Lupi is now Espada number 6. And clearly Grimjaw feels a type of way about this. You could tell he's really pissed. And sorry, I was a little bit confused at the beginning when Aizen was I was going to say his monologue. I'm assuming it wasn't just monologuing. He was talking to his other Espadas. There must be the other Espadas there. He spoke about how the Hokyoku, even for an instant, when it attaches itself to somebody that's got I can't remember if he said double the power of a captain or higher power than a captain, it unleashes his full power. And I remember saying that that's probably how he's making the Arancars, because he's using the momentary burst from the Hokyoku, because they keep saying the Hokyoku hasn't reached his full power. And I was confused at one point, like, how was he creating the Arancars then? Because they're created from the Hokyoku. But it's because of that short burst. I mean, you know, let me know down in the comments below if I'm wrong in this, but I'm assuming it's because of his ability to use it in bursts was what was creating the Arancars. So yes, the Hokyoku hasn't hit his full form yet, his full potential, because that is what's unfortunately gonna get him to surplus make the Arancars or whatever he needs to do to I don't know, create the keys to the kingdom and his bigger plan. But it was because of that, and he even said that he doesn't believe Kisuke is aware of this. Now, Kisuke was a captain. Whether he had the same level of power as Aizen, we don't know. But clearly, he's saying that Kisuke didn't know about this, because obviously Aizen had looked through all his research, and it's nothing. He never wrote about this, saying using small bursts of power, So he's basically been using the full power of the Hokyoku in short bursts. Because that's why I said I couldn't understand how he created so many Arancars so quickly if he hadn't hit his full power yet. But it was because of this technique he had figured he could only do, the secret. And then we saw right in front of our eyes an Arancar, Wonderwise Margella. And I'm not sure if he's going to be part of the Espadas. I'm not sure of if he's just going to be another normal Arancar. He literally looks like a new baby in the world. And it's quite interesting that Hollows, because they are not Hollows, but the Arancars are basically Menoses, or forms of different Menoses that just so they're Hollows that remove their masks, the Arancars. I wonder when they pick their names. So he said, you know, tell me your name, my new comrade. So I wonder when Hollows, or when that Hollow or that spirit had become a hollow, or has went down that route to become a hollow, when he decided that this was my name, because it clearly looks like he was reborn again. So it's quite interesting because they're literally training him. So they literally just turned up on top of Hitsugaya and Ikaku and Rangiku and Yumichika while they were training, and literally start to do battle. But now I'm starting to think this might be a bit of a distraction from what I just said. Ulquiorra might be there to pick up Orihime, or is there to get Orihime, because that would make sense. What if they even use Orihime to grow back Grimmjow's arm? I mean, Tenzin was quick to get rid of it, and he knew they couldn't do that. That's why he got rid of the arm. They can't attach the arm back. So I'm assuming she'll help grow his arm back. That's what I think is going to happen by the looks of it from what we've seen. I am, again, if it's going down that route, Orihime is going to try and make her way to the battlefield, because Shinji let Ichigo go. So Grimmjow is going to fight off against Ichigo. Ichigo has 11 seconds basically. That's how long he could holofy for, try and use that new power. And I think Shinji is basically looking this as a testing ground to see how far he's come along and how far they've got to go. So that would be quite interesting to see the outcome of that battle. Obviously, Kisuke Urahara, former captain of Squad 12, said that, you know, Renji and Chad, you stay back. I'm going to go. He's got, so basically, I know Yami is after him. Orihime is literally baiting herself out and bringing herself somewhere where she shouldn't be. So if she tries to get to the battlefield to be helping, she's going to get snatched right up. And that's what I think is going to happen from what we've seen, from what we've heard, and what we've seen. The interest like Aizen's had. I have a feeling this ploy, them being there because everyone's shook like, oh, the Hokyoku's not ready yet, why they've turned up, what they're here for, is the plan is to snatch up Orihime to bring her to the hollow side. So yeah, those are really good episodes. We're obviously getting ready for this big winter war. Everyone's training and everyone's trying to obviously be the best version of themselves. I wonder if we're gonna get to see the Ichigo's full-on power. Obviously it's a bit of a handicap match because obviously Grimmjow doesn't have an arm, but Grimmjow hasn't released the Sanpokto, so I don't know what his released Sanpokto form is. I wonder if any of the visors are gonna jump in. It would be good. By the looks of it, they seem to be staying hidden, but the visors jumping in would actually help. And again, like I said, it feels like it's them doing all of this, and even when Aizen said you could take some of them with you, feels more of a ploy. It's a trap, and if it's gonna happen, Orihime is gonna bring herself out in the open. Oh, and finally, I wonder if new and improved, because we haven't seen him in the last 2 episodes, new and improved Uryu is going to turn up, because I'm pretty sure he's got his Quincy abilities back after all the calculations that his father did to bring his Quincy powers back. So it'd be quite interesting to see. So yes, that was everything. I am really excited to see how the next couple of, how this fight goes down. And if you did like this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.